Okay, so first of all, I love this robe. We got it from the hotel in Mexico. We went on our second honeymoon. They gave us robes to take home and slippers, and I've been living in them because it's so comfortable. But that's not why we're here. I wanted to talk about this concept. I was thinking about the other day how easily and quickly we want to blame other people for whatever we're going through, if whatever we're feeling, and sit. And I don't think this is done like maliciously, and I don't think people mean to do it maliciously, but I think it's just a habit. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about in like the real world, and then I want to give you an example of like a fitness thing. So let's say, you accept 1,000 projects at work, and then you blame your boss for being overwhelmed. No, the issue is not that your boss is a crazy person. The issue is you do not have boundaries and you were unable to say no. And we quickly want to turn that person into the villain, like it's their fault. And to me, that's just really disempowering. I've learned that I feel much better in my life when I say, "Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me," because I can take much more ownership over my actions. It takes me out of victim mode. Like a health and fitness example would be, oh, I work too much. I have too much work, so I can't go to the gym, or I can't meal prep, or so we offset that issue onto someone else. When for some people, yes, work is a lot, but for like a lot of us, it's that we don't have boundaries with work. It's me. So I can either blame my boss, I can blame my job, or I can say, you know what? I haven't made health and fitness a priority in my life. And this happens too with like random things where, someone may think that just because they're going through a tough time, they need to have someone to blame. They need to put it on someone else. And I've been like, okay, I can't tell you things because you don't understand that I can be feeling something and not have to blame someone for it. I can be having just a generally difficult time with balancing, and I don't need to blame anybody for it. I can actually just be like, "Oh, it's a me problem. I haven't established the boundaries that I need to establish." But I don't think we live in a society anymore where people do that. People just want to pick a person, pick a villain, and then blame them for their problems instead of saying, "Hey, like, okay, where is my responsibility in this?" And one of the things that I always say, and a thing that I have started to again repeat, is to what extent to what extent did I contribute to this hot mess I'm in? Because to some degree, I contributed to this hot mess that I'm in. I'm not in a hot mess, but you know what I mean? So I was just thinking about that because, in conversations recently, people have just wanted to like pick a villain or pick someone to blame. And it's like, no, you can actually take responsibility for your role and for your own feelings. Like, I'm so disturbed by the amount of adults who don't take responsibility for their own feelings. What you're feeling is your responsibility. It's actually no one else's. No one can make you feel anything. If I feel angry, if I feel hurt, yes, someone may have said something rude, but I have to take responsibility for the fact that I feel that way. Unfortunately, like my reaction is my responsibility. What people say, so I don't know. I'm just not into this whole victim mindset where we're not being empowered, because that's not an empowered place to be. And it's also like when we think about mindsets that we want to have, like what is the most beneficial mindset to have in this situation? I used to talk to my kid, when I was a teacher, I talked to my kids about this a lot because we had a lot of conversations about society, about race, about social standing. And I said, you can walk around, you have a choice. You can walk around blaming the entire world for all of your problems. And quite frankly, you would be justified. You would absolutely be justified for a lot of the situations that you're in. Or you could take a higher road and say, okay, this is the situation, and these are the 50 million things I can do about it. But we don't really train. We are training children. We're training adults to blame the system, blame this person, and it's like, okay, and they're right. And that's why this is so challenging, because you're right. But what it does is it creates a bunch of helpless, angry idiots because no one's taking responsibility for their own behavior. No one's taking their own responsibility for their own actions. No one's taking responsibility for their own feelings. They're blaming everyone else. And to me, that's just not a productive mindset. And when you're someone who is growth minded, who's interested in success, you're interested in doing well, that's not an attitude that you can take. If you talk to any successful person, they do not take that approach to life. And so I think, and even with my clients, I'm like, okay, yeah, things are tough, but like, where can you stop putting yourself in victim mode? And where can you put yourself in hero mode? Where can you put yourself in growth mindset? Where can you put yourself in process mode where you can find a way around things? Recently, I've had clients, like some of my clients have children. Some of them have work. They're balancing life, work, relationships, and they can't go to the gym. Like, that's just not a thing for them. And so what do? Instead of saying, I can't go to the gym because I have 5 kids and I'm balancing this. Okay, you're going to take 3 10-minute breaks a day where you work out. 10 minutes. You're going to go 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes before lunch, and 10 minutes at night. That's an example of like working with what you have and not blaming a person, not blaming your situation for what is going on. Of course, I understand that not everybody has the even privilege to even do that. But most of us are not in these like dire situations. A lot of us, this is of our own doing and of our own decision. So we have to sort of find ways to work around it. So let's, just talking about not blaming other people for, or other systems or other ideas for what you can actually fix. Because I'm, in my Confident Women series, I talk about how I really genuinely just don't believe that people are helpless. I can't get there in my spirit because I've seen too many people in my own family be in these dire straits and situations where, statistically they should not be successful, and they have found a way to make it work, and they have found a way to become successful. And so I have a hard time just being like, yep, you're right. System's a mess. This is a mess. You're never going to succeed. You're right. I have a hard time doing that. What I really like to do is go, yes, you are right. This is difficult. XYZ. They may have wronged you, but what are you going to do about it? And how can you change your feelings? And a lot of times it's an issue with us and it's not an issue with another person. So anyway, my little rant that nobody cares about, but I just thought I'd get them here. Like, stop blaming other people. And just, I promise you, like, it is one of the biggest mindset things that has changed my life, is that I just stopped giving other people ownership of my feelings and of like what I'm going through,